Welcome to the real life hero section of Manameni Nalame. Today I have an extremely special person who's very close to my heart, my best friend Maria. It is a great honor for me to introduce her to you and to have this interview with her. She's an amazing human being, a very successful career woman, a great friend, daughter, partner, and community member. Join me in conversation with Maria Christine Nirmala. மனமேனி நலமே நேர்களுக்கு வணக்கம். இன்னைக்கு நம்ம ரியல் லைஃப் ஹீரோ செக்ஷனில் ரொம்ப அருமையான ஒரு பெண்மணியே கூட இருக்காங்கங்க. என் வாழ்க்கையில் இன்னைக்கு நான் இவ்வளோ தூரம் வந்ததுக்கு ஒரு முக்கிய காரணம் அவங்கன்னு சொன்னால் மிகையாகாது. அவங்க ஒரு ரொம்ப அருமையான தோழி, ஒரு அருமையான மக, ரொம்ப அன்பான மனைவி, ஒரு நல்ல சமுதாயத்தில் அவங்க பொறுப்பை ரொம்ப அழகாக எடுத்து நடத்திட்டு வர ஒரு பெண்மணி, ஒரு ரொம்ப அழகாக வாழ்க்கையில் முன்னேறி இன்றைக்கி ஒரு நல்ல நிலைமையில் நிறைய பெண்களுக்கு நம்மளுக்கெல்லாம் ஒரு எடுத்துக்காட்டாக அவங்க வாழ்க்கையை ரொம்ப அருமையாக வாழ்ந்துட்டுருக்க ஒரு பெண்மணி. வாங்க இன்றைக்கி அவங்க கூட பேசலாம். அவங்க வாழ்க்கை பயணத்தை பற்றி, அவங்க எப்படி இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு வாழ்க்கை வாழ்கிறாங்க, எப்படி அவங்க மனநலத்தை இவ்வளோ சீராக வச்சுருக்காங்கங்கிறத பற்றி அவங்கக்கிட்ட பேசலாம். Hi, Maria. Thank you so much for joining me in the real life heroes section of my YouTube channel, Manameni Nalame.
Thank you, Anne. It's a pleasure being here with you. And you're calling me a hero, so that makes my day, but it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Mentioned in my introduction, you are my best friend, and I am so honored and proud today to have you and introduce you to my viewers. Okay, so yeah, so Maria, let's get started. Let's jump right into it. So first, I would like you to share, just in your own simple words, Maria, tell us about yourself. So I see you a certain way, right? Your parents would view you in a different way. Tell us about who you think you are, like how you see yourself, just all the even the fun things about yourself, whatever that is like. Tell us about that.
Well, it's interesting because I think professionally, like you said, a lot of people would see me as a human resource professional, but then I have a background in mental health. So some people also just see me as a therapist, a go-to person for mental health related issues. There are a few who have seen that fun side of me. There are those people who see a moody side of me. So I think like everybody else, I am a bag of good and bad. How I see myself? Well, I think I'd like to put that as 3 stages. So people who know me professionally see me as a happy-go-lucky, a fun-loving, pretty energetic, someone who's in love with life, a lot of positive things. And there are people, of course, who've seen the other side of me as well, in terms of me being temperamental, moody, and a lot of other things. But I think all of us professionally, we do have those different faces based on the situation, context that we operate in or we deal with. How people who are close to me, how I know you would sometimes see me, or my really close friends, my husband, my parents would see me. They would also see the devil in me, You see the worst of me in terms of, my mood swings, my biases, times when I can be really rude and cranky and all of that. And they still accept me for what I am. And that's what makes me what I am. And they put up with the good and bad of me. And you know best. And how I see myself, deep down, I know how terrible I can be as a person. There are also good sides of me, but I think I do see a lot of the even deeper devil in me, which does not make me feel proud. But I learn. I think it's very, very important for us to be honest with ourselves. And when we can kind of acknowledge the demons and the devils that lie within us, then we strive to, successfully and unsuccessfully at times, to be a little better day by day.
Absolutely, Maria. Thank you so much, and for sharing that real human side of you, and for being willing to be vulnerable with us. But I would say a few statements were a bit too much of an exaggeration, but I hear you. We all have those different faces, right? And that's so true. Absolutely. Well, yeah, as you were growing up as a young girl, tell us about like how did you view life then? Like what were your aspirations, right? And when you look back now, what would you tell us about that?
Okay, when I grew up, I fortunately or unfortunately, I had a little bit of a health condition wherein I was brought up in a very delicate manner. So at that point in time, all I wanted to be in life was be a doctor. Be a doctor to help people with various illnesses and health related issues and stuff. That's an aspiration, but then it takes a lot of work academically as well. And I think while I had a lot of fun and I was doing a lot of different things, I was academically average or probably a little above average, but I didn't quite make it into medicine because my marks actually didn't get me there. And I probably now retrospectively think that I didn't study the right way. So a lot of these things are not just about how intelligent you are, but it's also about do you prepare for it the right way. And so that's where I think all these folks who go through tuitions and who get it right in terms of preparing have an edge over others. So I didn't make it. So I was a disappointed disheartened aspiring doctor. And since I didn't get into medicine, I didn't want to do anything with science. So I said, I'm going to do, I was pretty good at math. So I thought I'll do my bachelor's in mathematics, computer science, and statistics. Did pretty well, but I felt my natural side was to work with people. I was not really the kind who, was comfortable working with machines, and I didn't particularly like coding. So that's when I was in something called the NSS, which was an extracurricular activity in college, which is the National Service Scheme, where you get exposed to a little more raw side of life. So you go to a village to some community work and, get exposed to people from various diverse segments. And I felt social work could be a career that really suited my aspirations. That's when I applied, but because I was a science student, I didn't get into Bangalore University, and I had to go to Stella Maris, and that's where I met Anne. And again, in Stella Maris, it was not very easy because people were like, you're a science student, why would you want to make the shift? So then I fortunately got into my MBA at Liba, and I had to kind of bargain with the priest there saying, I don't really want to do MBA. Can you help me get a seat in social work? And that's how I got the seat in social work. It was not very easy, but that was a game-changing 2 years of my life. I got into social work thinking I wanted to change the world, but then you realize once you're there that it's so much about changing yourself first, and that itself is a journey. Began that journey, so did social work, loved it. The kind of people I met, the work that we exposed to, they kind of really grill you, right? In terms of balancing between field work and academic work. And we had the strictest of professors, who had all kinds of, standards for us, but it helps. At that point, it seems like, oh my God, who are these people? But it really helps us. It just molds us so differently. So I did social work for 2 years, then did my MPhil in psychiatric social work. So that was the only time when my career took a normal course, because I did social work and then psychiatric social work and enhanced. And again, had a really nice time because that's where I met my future partner. I met my husband while I was doing my MPhil in enhanced, and worked in enhanced for 2 years. For my PhD, and I was very confident I'll get it. And I did it. And I was really surprised, disappointed, because I thought my life was set. I get into MPhil, do my PhD, I met my partner there. It's a government job. I'll get some house, quarters there, and my life is set. But then, that's when you realize that God has different plans, because I did get into my PhD. And I began to look outside. And then I got to know that Indian Institute of Science, which is a premier institute in Bangalore, was offering a PhD program. So I prepared for it. I prepared very hard for it. Went through right to my school books and college books to get back to my basics in mathematics, and which I'd kind of lost track of. And bingo, I got into my PhD. So that was a game changer. Because after my PhD, I got into the corporate, and with the corporate life comes a lot of financial well-being as well, and it takes you on a different path. I do miss my years in social work and therapy and all of that. I kind of find ways to keep in touch with it. I have friends that I sold my soul for money, so some of them tell me that okay, at least be loyal to it. uh, well, I plan to come back to those days sometime, in the near future. But right now, I'm in a corporate, and I like what I'm doing, and look forward to getting back to mental health sometime. So that's, I don't know where I took a long time, but that's in brief about my journey.
Oh, thank you. And Maria, as I hear you speak, what I'm hearing is, right, you didn't actually give up on your passion. Yes, the journey took you in different ways, because how I see today, you still continue to work with people as a HR professional, you're managing people, right? And that you were always persistent, you didn't give up. And I really loved how you said to be a mental health professional, or basically to be in any helping profession, is to first work on yourself, because that's when you're really going to be helpful to anyone. Right. So thank you for sharing that. And that really resonates to how I see the helping profession. So Maria, now you have had this multidisciplinary experience with your education, right, throughout the journey. Today, as you work as a HR professional with people, managing people, what does that look like? How does it contribute to the work you do? Are there challenges? Has it changed your perspective on how you view your work if you had throughout your education only the HR education? Like, what would you say about that?
Well, that's interesting, Anne. And it's all of this you learn and you introspect and you realize that you've actually been blessed. Although at points in life when things didn't happen the way you wanted it to, it can be very depressing. You can feel like a failure. You can, really question your capabilities and competencies. But I think those moments are very important. It's just at that point in time, it's so difficult to handle. And I do believe that success is a lousy teacher. And it's only moments where there are dips in life, you kind of look back, see what you've done wrong, introspect, and correct. So currently, when I work as a professional and see people around me, I do believe in the whole growth mindset. I think it's amazing how neuroscience and the theories now are really developed. From believing that the intelligence that you were born with is what you had throughout your life, to now saying that you can always keep working on different things. And I think that has really, helped me in my career, because I was a science student, moved into arts, and then came back to science with my PhD program. It just helps to swing between, I don't know, there are a lot of different theories of a left brain and right brain moment. I kind of feel that you no longer look at things from just a single perspective. There are so many different ways to look at, what's happening around you. And if you can just step back and not get emotional about things, I feel that there's a lot that you can learn. There are, different ways and more proactive ways of handling things. And you just become a better professional, where, success is not just about you being right always, you having the mantra on how to do things, it's success about evolving, it's about collaborating, helping each other through your down times in life. So I feel those are some of the key lessons that my journey and swinging between different fields have actually helped me. So on one hand, you can be very mathematical and look at something like an equation. On the other hand, you can look at something like a science, where I say it's more rational and logical and all of that, but the rules of something. On the other hand, you look at something as an art, where 2 plus anything, or 2 and 2 can be anything. It can be 22, it can be 4, it can be 2 raised to 2, so many other things.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Maria. So Maria, my next question is, as a woman, right, like through your education and your career, do you think it was any different because of your gender?
Definitely not because of, not in my education. And that's predominantly, I wouldn't say not because of the society around, because of my parental upbringing, so I am the only child for my parents. And gender never even struck me as an aspect that would make a difference, because to my, I was both the son and the daughter. I was both the boy and the girl. And my father always believed that I have to go out there, and it's okay if I fall, it's okay if I hurt. But the last thing that they were very categorical about in my upbringing is, we don't want you to stop going out there. So I remember I was when I stepped into college and I was getting dragged. And then the next day I came back to my father and my parents, and I told them that I don't want to go by the school bus because I got dragged. My father said, no, that's not the answer. I don't want you to escape that situation. So you're going to go back there and you're going to learn how to handle it. So gender never mattered. And because I was brought up in a way where I was not even conscious about it. So not conscious about it, when you go out there, it doesn't really matter. If you are in a family, because I've had friends and I know how things can change for a lot of women, especially after marriage, when there are certain roles that you are forced to stick to because of your gender, then I know it can impact people a lot. And when you start feeling that you're a woman and there are things that you don't get because of your gender, I feel it's an interaction. Then whatever happens around you also responds to that gender in you. But I don't want to categorically put it off, because I do know and I am aware of situations where it is very difficult for women to make it even normally in their career. So definitely role. Fortunately, I've not had a problem only because of my upbringing, and I want to clarify that.
Thank you. And that's really good that you had that kind of an upbringing, and you're an example of, right, how you raise a child basically determines their lens of how they see themselves and how they're going to interact, as you said, with the outside world, though there may be barriers. And yeah, that's perception of self and who you are.